Well, hi folks. We are scheduled at 10:30, but I thought I would start this just a little bit early to see if we can get some audience up here real quick. So I'm just going to start the live feed a few minutes early, see if we can get a few people in. I always start just on time or a little bit late, but I'm just going to start a little early and I'm going to try. I'm just going to leave this open for right now. If anybody wants to come on and talk to me, we can talk about things that are going on. I'm also going to, at the same time, be trying to get a few videos ready. So if anybody wants to talk to me, that's fine. We are not actually going to go fully live here for about 5 more minutes, but I know somebody's already watching there. I'm going to put the banner on. Hey there, how you doing? I don't know who Hey There is, but if you can go to www. I'm going to put the banner up here. We'll do that. I'm a little bit early. I was just saying I'm a little bit early on here right now. I'm just trying to gather a little bit of audience this morning before I get started. If you want to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and allow permissions, that way I will know who you are. Or you can just say, hey, this is Bob, and maybe I will know who you are. But I'm a little early, so I'm not going to start the live yet. I'm just trying to gather a little bit of audience this morning here before I go actually live. Susi had to go into work this morning, so I'm going to be live by myself this morning. So I am going to leave you here for just a second. I am trying to gather a video real quick, but hang on. It's 10:20 right now. We are going live at 10:30. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, come back, and we are going to be live here very shortly. Hi, Helena. How you doing? We will be we'll be live here in just a few minutes. I'm just wanted to come live to see if we can gather up some audience people here. So real quick, we will be active and live here in about 8 minutes. And if you can hear me still, we are still live. We are just trying to gather a little audience membership. But I'm having a little problem getting the videos I want. So I think maybe I'm just going to leave that be. I do have one video I will show. So like I said, it's at 10:22. I am early. I'm just trying to gather a few audience members. So just hang on there a little bit. And we will be back with you in, it looks like, about 7 minutes. So just hang on. Go grab yourself a cup of coffee. It's going to be a short live today. I just wanted to check in with everybody and see how it's going. And we're going to talk about a couple of side hustles that anyone can do. And most of them would actually be healthy. You can lose weight, make some money, pay the mortgage, that sort of thing. Hang on. Be about 6 minutes. I'll be back. Good morning. Good morning. We are early. Like I said before, we are early. I'm on early trying to gather a little bit of audience steam here. And we're just waiting here for a few minutes before I get started. Today is about 3 side hustles that we can do in our retirement. Certainly enough to pay anybody's mortgage, unless you've got a $5,000 mortgage or something like that. But generally speaking, all of these would pay your mortgage or pay for definitely enough to pay for a grocery bill in your retirement. I am going to wait here. I am early this morning. I am early, just trying to gather a little audience steam here before we take off here. I am going out live on my Lee Clocky business page. I am live on YouTube. I am live in my Freaking Nomads Facebook group. So again, if you would go to the bottom of the screen there, that crawl on the screen where it says StreamYard.com/Facebook and allow permissions. If you do that one time, you'll never have to do it again for anybody's lives anywhere. And it just allows me to see your name when you comment, so I know who's talking to me. And for you new people that are gathering here, I am early. I am just trying to gather a little bit of audience. And actually, I wanted to test some new equipment that I had out. So that is why I started early this morning. And so I don't want to start the actual live before it was advertised, just in case some people are going to show up at 10:30. But hello, grab yourself a cup of coffee. If it's too late for coffee, drink some water. That is what I intend to do. And we are going to get started here very shortly. It is 10:25 by my computer. I'll probably start a minute early. I'll start at 10:29. Again, we're going to talk about 3 side hustles that you could literally start tomorrow. And I know that at least 2 of them, because I have done 2 of them, they would pay your mortgage every month, and you could lose weight while doing them. So if you're interested in that, hang on. And literally, you could replace an income, depending on what you make, of course. So hang on, it's 10:26. I'm going to wait about 3 more minutes and we will go live very shortly. Again, this is Lee Clocky. We are going to talk about 3 side hustles to do in retirement. It's going to be a short live today. We are out on my Facebook page, Lee Clocky. I am on my YouTube, Minnesota Travel Guy, and I am in my Facebook group, Freaking Nomads. And we're going to do a live today about 3 side hustles that you could do in retirement, or you could do as a side hustle if you're trying to make some extra Christmas money. You could do that. You could start tomorrow. And I know for a fact, because I've done 2 of these side hustles myself, that you could pay your mortgage with these very easily, unless you have a astronomical mortgage. Then maybe not. But you could certainly pay a family. You could certainly feed a family on the 2 that I'm talking about, and you could have a job, and you could still do it. But if you wanted to quit your job, and of course you have some money in the bank, or you have a plan, which is what I know you guys all know, that Susie and I have a plan. This is part of our plan. When we stop and settle in one of those states, which is going to be Texas. We already know that. We have a podcast. If you guys don't know that, we do have a podcast, Freaking Nomads. It's available on all channels. It's going to cover our entire journey here as we sell off all of our belongings and sell our house, and we'll leave by no later than next September 1 to very more than likely go full-time RV, possibly 6 months on RV, 6 months renting a luxury apartment in Texas. We haven't decided what that's going to be yet. We're going to do the 6 months RV, and then we'll find out if we can if we can go full-time RV. That's what we're going to do. Right now, we are tentatively going 6 months RVing, 6 months apartment life, and then 6 months RVing, and we want to see all of the 48 contiguous states and all of the national parks. I would actually like to truck it up to Alaska too. So anyway, it is rolling up to 10:28. We're going to wait 1 more minute. I don't mind starting 1 minute early, but I did start this early because I wanted to test a new camera on this laptop, and it seems like it had some bugs in it yesterday, and I wanted to make sure it was going to roll for a few minutes before I started. So if you can hear me out there, give me a 1. Just put a 1 in the chat and tell me what you're hearing me on, whether it's YouTube or my Facebook page of Lee Clocky II, or if you are in freaking Nomads. If you could shoot me a 1 and tell me that you can hear me and you can see me, and tell me who you are, where you're from, and where you are watching this on. If it's YouTube, or if you're watching it on my Facebook page, or if you're watching it in freaking Nomads, I sure would appreciate it. Just give that to me. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but if you can do that, that would be great. And it is 10:29. We are going to start the live. Hey, folks, Lee Clocky here for freaking Nomads. My cameras are always backwards. My spouse, who usually sits right here, Susi, had to get called into work this morning to work at the clinic in Perm, Minnesota. It is very cold. One of the reasons we are leaving here and selling all of our belongings is it's very freaking cold. Freaking cold. Let me just tell you what the temperature is this morning, just to let you know why the hell we're leaving here. Right currently, it's updating. It's updating. It was colder last night. It was way windier last night. We had wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour last night. So you imagine what the feels like temperature, the wind chill was. Oh, we have warmed up above 0. It is 1 degree right now. It is, can you see that? No, maybe 1 degree. And it feels like -15 out right now. That's a good feel. It's, we have if you're right on the other side of my laptop through some windows there that I'm looking at right now, there's a huge giant ice cube, which in the summertime is called Lake McDonald. I was out there taking some pictures of it the other night, or just yesterday. It's probably not safe. There is people out there ice fishing already. They don't have their big huts out there yet. They're just fishing, drilling a hole. I don't know that I would walk out there yet. It is frozen. But we had a big thaw last week, so I would be a little careful if I was those people ice fishing on that deep lake out there yet. But give it a couple more days of -15 wind chill. It'll freeze right back up there, and they'll be driving cars out there in no time. I have never driven my car out on any lake, and nor will I ever. Every year you hear about 5 or 6 cars going into a lake. So I will never be one of those guys that drives my car onto a lake, because not only do you lose your car, you also have to pay like $20,000 in fines because of all of the gas and everything else that goes into the lake. So no, I will never drive my car to a lake. So let's get back to the point of this live this morning. Good morning. Lee Clocky for freaking Nomads. And as you know, I was going to pull that up too. We have set ourselves a deadline for the freaking Nomads. And let me just tell you what that deadline is, where we are selling everything that's not nailed down, including our house, and buying an RV of undetermined size and shape. We keep waffling whether we're going to get the small one that we can be pulled by the current vehicle we own, or since apartments are expensive, if we should just take that money that we would normally spend on an apartment for those 6 months and roll it into the RV and get a larger truck and a larger RV, and then just go full time. We are super waffling. If we're going to be authentic on videos right now, we are hugely waffling on that right now. It's just a big commitment, because if you make that commitment to buy the truck and buy the larger RV, then you are committed to full-time RVing. Because I mean, we can't do both. We can't buy the truck, buy the larger RV, and then decide, I mean, we could sell it, I guess, but we're also going to do the apartment life too. So we are big time waffling right now. We are. I mean, we can absolutely do either. We just don't know which one we're going to do. But anyway, our deadline, let's see, 272 days or less. Not that we're counting or anything. Not that it's on my phone every day to remind me of the deadline that we have. So today in the freaking Nomads, this is our freaking Nomads group. I am broadcasting this on all of my channels. And that is because I want you to come join our freaking Nomads group, which is Facebook.com freaking nomads or Facebook.com/groups/freaking nomads. Come join our group and follow our travels as we get ready. We're gonna bare our souls. We're gonna show you all of the ins and outs about selling our house, getting rid of our crap, and actually the ins and outs of actually selling the house, selling the stuff, going on the road. We are going to cover it all. And if you've ever had dreams or desires to do that, you can live vicariously through us and see what might be going wrong, what might be going right. You're going to see it all. So if you're out there and you want to live vicariously through us, please do. But along the way, we're also going to try to educate you on things that you can do for money. And it's when I watch other people's videos that are already RVing full time. There is thousands of people, by the way, that are already full-time RVing, if you want to look them up. In their comments, all of their comments always say, we would love to do that. How are you doing that? How are you making money? How are you doing that? Well, there's a lot of ways that those folks are doing that. Today, I'm going to talk about how we intend on making money when we park, either go and rent our apartment, probably in Texas, or we park our RV permanently for 6 months and live in Texas. Today, I'm going to talk about those side hustles. But there are lots of side hustles we can do right on the road, which we will be doing. One of them is what I'm doing right now, creating content and creating videos. I just got a paycheck from Facebook just the other day for my content videos. Yes, Facebook does pay people to make content videos. And I got a nice paycheck just the other day for my content videos, my reels. So you can make money online. All the folks that are my age or older and go, oh, I couldn't learn how to do that. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. And I can teach you how. There is an education platform called Entre Institute. And they were born, I think, about 4 years ago, from just a genius guy named Jeff Lerner, who, and I know him personally. I went to school with him in some live events, and he's a great guy. And he doesn't just give you a bunch of information and leave you. There is backup to backup to backup classes. I continuously am taking more classes through him to learn more and more and more and more. And it's all included in one price. And there's always somebody there to answer your question if you don't know a lot about computer or online. I mean, I was pretty computer literate, but there are people that I've seen that are not computer literate that are up and running and doing well with these programs. So if you ever have a question, or if you ever need some information about, Lee, how could I do this? And you're very serious, and you don't even have to be serious about it. If you just have a question, just ask me, private message me, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything, but I'll answer your question. I have lots of products in my tool belt that are available if you should so desire, and we can talk about it. But I'm not going to sit there and try to, I'm not going to use car salesman you into anything. But if you're interested, private message me and we can talk. But that's it on that. The 3 side hustles that we are going to absolutely do when we park our RV, probably in Texas, or we live in a luxury apartment in Texas, while we do our online business, are going to be Amazon delivery driver, which I have done, still do occasionally when I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, and Uber driver and Uber Eats driver, done all 3 of those. And the reason I tell you that they're good, and they're good for us older folks, is they get you off your butt. The Amazon delivery driver, I personally loved that. I mean, you pull into basically this big Amazon garage. Once you sign up, which the sign up is super easy online. It takes 10 minutes to sign up to be an Amazon Flex driver is what they call it. You do it on your app on your phone, super easy. They just basically, it's a real quick background check to make sure that you're not a criminal. And then they give you an app. And once you get that, every day they come out and say, hey, we have these deliveries available. Do you want any? And you just say, yes, I'll take some. You pull into the one facility that's near your home, the nearest your home, and you pull right in, even if it's winter or if it's raining or anything, you pull into a closed facility and they shut both doors. And then they say, okay, everybody get out of your truck. And they roll these big carts of packages to your car or truck or van or whatever it is you have. And you scan them with your phone. Your phone scans them all in, just like a UPS driver. It scans in and you put them in your car and you get it all ready. And then when everybody, they let like 15 or 20 cars in at one time. And then when everybody's packed up and ready to go, they open up the garage doors, you all leave. Your app tells you exactly where to go first. And it's just like a mapping program. It says, go 7 miles this direction. I mean, literally how good this app is. I remember one time, because it was in Fargo, North Dakota, but it was out in the boonies and on the prairie. I was literally going down, I mean, not a farm road. It was not even a road. It was a rutted field that I was driving through for about 1.5 miles. And then all of a sudden it just opened up in this beautiful farm. Beautiful, but it wasn't even a road to get there. I mean, it was barely a road, but this app got me there, and I delivered 2 or 3 packages. It was a big farm, and got me there. But the beauty of it is you get out of your car, you're walking. You have to walk, 300-400 yards each one of those deliveries. You're lifting 20 or 30 pounds. So if you're not an active person, this gets you off of your butt and you have to walk. And you do that, depending on the size of your load, which varies every day. How many packages you get can be somewhere between 20 and 50 packages. So you're getting in and out of your car. So if you're not active, you're getting in and you're getting out of your car. You're lifting packages. You're carrying them to a door. You're putting it down, and and then you're walking back to your car, and you're doing that 50 times. If you're not an active person, that can be a workout for you. And I dropped a lot of weight doing that. I really literally did. I had a very sedentary job, and I dropped probably 30 or 40 pounds just doing that. When you get done with that load, you say you're done to Amazon, and if there's more available, they say, would you like to take another load? And you can say yes, or you can say no. A lot of times I would say yes, because those loads, depending on the busyness of the day, this time of year, you're going to make a fortune. But if it's not real busy, depending on the busyness and how many drivers are available, those loads you're going to get between, I would say, depending on where you are in the country too. Fargo's a pretty high-tech, busy town, but I know, in California, they probably will make way more than they do in Fargo. But in Fargo, it was between 20 and $25 an hour, and a load would take you about 3 to 4 hours. So you're making $80. You're making $20 an hour, and you're in your car. You're listening to your music or your Audible or whatever it is you want to listen to for 3. And the thing of it is they plan it to be 4 hours, but if you hustle, you can get it done about 2.5, 3 hours. So that $80, that $80 they're going to pay you for 4 hours. You shorten it to 2.5 hours. Now you just made $40 an hour. And I did that all the time because I hustled and I made it an actual real workout. I hustled. Amazon driver, very good. And you can do 2 shifts a day. So you can pretty easily. Now, are you going to use gas? You bet you're going to use gas. Yep. I would say in big cities, probably less than I did in North Dakota, because let's face it, the prairie farmers and stuff like that are a little bit spread out. So I probably had to pay a little bit more in gas than you would in, say, New York City. Well, let's not use New York City, but in a larger town, Cleveland. Yeah, you're because they do try to group them as close as they can in groupings. Now, when I would have a Fargo, North Dakota in city route, which it's always a gamble where you get it. But if I was in town, Oh, I wouldn't hardly use any gas. I mean, they would just, if it boom, 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 they would all be about a quarter of a mile away from each other. And I would drive a block and then there would be 2 more drops. So you don't use some gas. Some days you don't use hardly any gas at all, but you still walk. You still walk and you're getting in and out of that car and in and out of that car and you walk. So it's a good workout. And if you do 2 routes a day, and let's just say you do them in three hours, and that's $80. That's $160 a day that you're making minus your gas. Let's say, so let's say you even had to use a tank of gas, which I never used a tank of gas. Let's say half a tank of gas at $60 a tank. So minus $30, you're making, $130 a day. That's not a bad income. And you can do that 7 days a week if you want to. Amazon delivers 7 days a week. So you can make an easy, you're not always going to do 7 shifts. So let's just say, you're not always going to do double shifts. So let's just say you did 1 shift and $80, and then subtract $15 for your gas, $65, and you did 5 days a week. What would that be? $350 a week. That's not bad money. I mean, to not have a boss, well, you have a boss, but I mean, you're in your own car, you're doing your own space, you're kind of doing it on your own time. And $350 a week times 4, it's $1,500 or $1,400 a month. That's an easy mortgage payment, a couple of car payments. It's a good income, and you're getting in shape. I'm just saying that's a pretty good thing. And if you want any information right here, I'm going to share this page. Hang on, I did that wrong. I'm going to share this page just so you can write it down. I'm going to present this page for you. Share screen. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do becoming a Amazon. Where are you at there? Well, come on now. I lost it. Hang on 1 second. Hang with me 1 second. One moment. If you're still with me. There it is. Okay. So come on. Sorry, it's just not cooperating with me right now. Amazon. Why is that not showing up? Is it here? Am I just blind? Actively recruiting. There it is. There it is. Share. So if you wanted to become an Amazon Flex driver, you just go to this webpage. It's flex.amazon.com. And now what you do is you go to this website, you download that app to sign up. And what it does is if there's no availability for positions right today, you say, I want to become one, and it puts your name in a pool. And as soon as somebody quits, which there's probably a fairly decent turnover. I mean, it's a lot of teenage kids that do it, but you'd be surprised on how many people that are my age that are doing it too. And when somebody quits, they immediately, they'll fire it off to your app in your phone saying, hey, we have this opening. Do you want to start Amazon Flex driving? So that's how that works. So let's stop sharing that. And I'm going to get rid of that page. I go back to StreamYard, and there I am. So that is Amazon Flex. Sorry, I had some difficulties there. The next one would be Uber, which I have also Ubered. So a lot of people are weirded out by Uber and say, well, that sounds dangerous. I don't, I honestly don't think it's that dangerous. I have Ubered on Fridays and Saturday nights in a very downtowny, drunk filled area. And I've never once been fearful ever. The worst thing that's happened, and I did have a barf bag, thankfully, have barf bags in your back of your car, is somebody threw up in the back of my car. But here's the thing. If you're scared of that, it says in the Uber agreement, and people sign for that. They probably don't know they signed for it. But there is a between $100 and $500 fee that they pay for throwing up in your car. And you can go get it. You can take it to a car wash. I mean, they have to pay that. And their card will be charged for that. And so then you just go to a car wash and have it detailed on that money. So, but the best idea is just to have barf bags right behind your seat. If you feel somebody's that bad, say, hey, get one of those freaking barf bags and barf into that, or stop the car. That's the worst I ever had. I mean, I think the worst experience I ever had as an Uber driver was people thinking I was the bad guy. Groups of women and groups of ladies would be taking pictures of my license plate and saying, well, if you take our girlfriend home, we've got your license plate number. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Just let me drive her home. Okay. I'm not the weirdo. The one weirdo Uber driver that killed somebody 3 years ago that's the story that everybody has heard. And, so now all Uber drivers are maniacs, but, on a good Friday or Saturday night, I made several $100s driving people home. If you're in a big city, I go to meetings in Denver, and from the Denver airport to the hotel I go to, it's $80, and people pay it all day long. And I since I am an Uber driver, I talk to the Uber guy or gal that drives me. And I said, so you do this all day? She goes, the one I talked to last, she said, yep, I drop you off and I go, I'll pick somebody up hopefully and drive them back to the airport. And I do this all day long. And it's about a 35-minute drive. So she goes $80 there, $80 back, $80 there. And she does that 10 times a day. She banks, let's put it that way. She banks, $700 or $800 a day. And I said, do you do this 5 days a week? She says, if I want to, I do, and she said, but the one I was talking to was a college student. She does it 3 or 4 days a week. And so she's making $2 or $3 grand a week. And now that's not a big city. That's Denver. When I was in Fargo, we don't have those long, stints. It's 10 minutes to the airport in Fargo. So, it's still a decent fee. It's probably $20, but it's not, it's not $80, which, now is she using a lot of gas? You betcha she is, but she's still making a lot of money. So the questions that I had, and you probably have about being an Uber driver is, I got to buy this huge, expensive insurance policy if I'm going to be an Uber. You don't. You just have to make sure that you have decent automobile insurance. Uber pays for the above that insurance. That's part of their fee that you pay to be an Uber driver, and they cover you with their insurance, which was a big worry of mine when I first started becoming an Uber. Is how much is the insurance policy going to cost me to be an Uber driver? It costs you nothing. Well, it costs you their fee. Their take that they're taking off of that toll. But they pay for the insurance. So really, the only fee you have is having a clean car with insurance and your time. Who amongst you haven't taken an Uber? And you can make very, very good money being an Uber driver. The only reason I stopped becoming an Uber driver is we moved out to the lake, which is about 60 miles from Fargo. Fargo is the largest metropolitan area closest to me. So if I wanted to become an Uber driver, I would then have to pay for the gas to get to Fargo, then Uber, and then pay for the gas to get back. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does bite into your profit if you're having to buy a tank of gas to get to the place to Uber. It's the same reason I stopped being an Amazon driver. Now they are opening up an Amazon small hub about 25 miles away from me now. So I will probably start Amazoning when they build that, if I'm still here, which I probably will not be. So Uber, very good side hustle. Now that one will not get you the exercise that Amazon will. Uber's very easy to sign up for. So I'm going to try to share my screen here again. Hang on one second. Share screen. We will, that is the wrong one. That is the wrong one. Hang on one second. Share screen. Become a delivery driver. No, we haven't talked about that one yet. Uber. Why can I not ever find these? Uber.com. Am I just not seeing it? Is that it? Oh, that's it. Okay, there it is. So there you go. So St. Cloud is a metro area that's about 2 hours away from me. And so Uber still tries to get me. And so here is their recruitment slide to become an Uber in St. Cloud. So what they do is, so if you do not make $1,600 in your first 200 trips, they will make up the difference. So that if you see the little asterisk there, it says earn at least $1,600 in St. Cloud when you complete 200 trips. So, and if you read all of that, I mean, there's some rules to it and everything. And if you follow the rules and do everything that they say there, if you do not earn $1,600 in your first 200 trips, they will pay you the difference between what you did make. You know, let's say you made $1,000 in your first 200 trips, they will pay you the other $600. I will tell you, you'll easily make $1,600 in your first 200 trips. If you don't make $1,600 in 200 trips, you're doing something wrong. So here is the screen that you go to, just uber.com. Go there, you sign up. There is a process. It probably takes you about a week to get signed up for Uber. They do a criminal background check. Believe it or not, all those people that think their Uber driver is a weirdo or whatever, they do an actual criminal background check. Is that, foolproof? No, but they do criminal background checks on every Uber driver. And, and then you have to hook up your bank account and there's some things that you have to do to become an Uber driver. It takes about a week before you're live on that. So that is how you become an Uber driver. So I'll stop sharing that now. The other thing with Uber that I have also done too, which is very cool, and you can do them simultaneously. So if you're Ubering and rush hour gets over and there's no fares to take, you can turn on your Uber Eats app. And all of a sudden, all the McDonald's and Burger Kings and any restaurant that participates in Uber Eats will anybody that calls those places and says, hey, I want you to send me, 2 Whoppers with cheese and 3 fries and 2 sodas, they use their app to order that. Uber Eats then contacts your app and says, hey, we got a delivery for you. Go to this Burger King, pick up the bag and deliver it to Jane Doe. You deliver it to Jane Doe. They answer the door. You just hand it to them and you're done. That one will actually get you some exercise too, which is kind of cool. The other beauty behind Uber Eats is if you're nice and you're polite and you're friendly, you almost always get a tip, which is above and beyond the fare for your Uber Eats. I, at certain times, was almost doubling what Uber paid me just in tips. Just being nice and being friendly and making sure that they got everything they needed. They got their straws and they got their napkins and all of that, which a lot of people probably weren't quite that thorough. But hey, if it gets me double my money, I'm going to be thorough. And so Uber Eats is a very good one. that you can easily make. And you can actually just not do Uber at all if you're afraid of people in your car. Lots of people do that. If you ever go to a McDonald's or a Burger King and you just see somebody sitting right outside the to-go door and they're sitting there on their phone, they're just waiting for the next Uber Eats order to hit. And then they'll go in there, they'll grab their Uber Eats meal and book. I mean, there's lots of people that do that don't Uber and carry people or passengers in their car at all because they just don't want passengers in their car. So Uber Eats is another very viable way to make $100 or $200 a day easily, especially during rush. I mean, during rush, it's as fast as you can possibly go without breaking the law. I'm not telling you to break the law or anything like that, but as many deliveries as you can make during dinner rush and lunch rush. There's unlimited amounts of delivery you can do in certain areas. The really cool thing about the Uber platform, Uber Driver and Uber Eats, is if you position yourself in the right areas, and after you do it for a while, you'll know what the right areas are. They call them heat maps. And when there's not enough drivers in a certain area, that part of the map will get hot. And as you see it get red, get yourself over in that area, into that area, and any delivery or pickup, you'll get a surcharge of $5 or $10 or $15 just for picking that food up or that person up. That's above and beyond what you might actually get in the fare. And that's just because they need you there, so they pay you a surcharge. Of course, they pass that right on to the passenger too. But those are very cool things that Uber does. So very much recommend Uber and Amazon and Uber Eats. I've done all three of those. I can tell you from somebody who has done it, I've made a lot of money doing those. I mean, a lot is relative. I mean, it was a millionaire, but did I pay my rent and did I provide groceries for my family? Absolutely did. So those are very viable. I think I did have something real quick. No, okay, I didn't. So that I'm just going to go press on. Those are two of the three side hustles. The next one I have not done, but just this morning, because it never was available out here where I live in the boonies until just recently. And they have opened it up in my area because there's a fairly decent sized town called Fergus Falls, close to me, about 20 miles away. It's a 50, 60,000 person town, and they just opened it up in there. So I went ahead and signed up. I might go ahead and do it just a little bit, just to experience it so that I can pass that knowledge on to you. And it's Instacart. If you haven't heard about Instacart, Instacart is a platform just like Uber Eats, but different. So you sign up, which I signed up this morning, and I can tell you the entire process of signing up took me 12 minutes. From downloading the app on my phone to being approved as an Instacart driver took me 12 minutes. So that was the entire application process and the background check. So what happens now is, I'm not exactly certain what happens, but I believe I will get an email when somebody wants groceries in the Fergus Falls area. And if I so choose to say I'll go grocery shopping for them, I would select I'll go grocery shopping for them. And there'll be I haven't done it yet, so I'm not even sure exactly how it worked, but I'm sure that there'll be a fee that will be published and say, if you go do their groceries shopping for them, you'll get this much money. So I can accept that and go to the grocery store. And just so you know, Instacart gives you a credit card, an Instacart credit card. Right now, if I went today and went shopping, they also gave me a digital credit card so that I could actually start doing this today. They also are sending me a hard actual Instacart credit card. So I could start today with my digital card that is on my telephone. So they sent me that. So if I accept that agreement, let's just say I don't have any idea what the rates are because I've never done Instacart. But let's just say if you go grocery shopping for them, they'll give you $20. And I say, yes, I'll go grocery shopping for them for $20. So I drive to the grocery store that they chose. I pick up all of their groceries, put them in my car, deliver them to their house, and there's tips involved. So carry them into their house, because I would imagine it may not be. I may be being wrong here. It's probably older folks, I would guess. At least some of them are probably older folks. Carry them into the house, put them nicely on the cupboards and things like that. If they need something heavy carried somewhere, do that. Because there's also tips involved. So maybe it's $20. If you impress them and you're polite and nice, maybe you get a nice tip. So let's say you get a $10 tip. It's $30 for going grocery shopping, which I don't mind grocery shopping, and you're off. I have no idea what the rate is. I will come back and tell you what the rate is after I do it a few times, just to let you know. It's got to be decent though, because Instacart is pretty popular. So I did sign up for that. I am going to go experiment and see what it is like in the next week or two, and I will report back to you on the next live or two. But that is the other one, and that one again will get you up, get you active, get you walking around a grocery store instead of just playing on your phone or watching movies on Netflix. And you're making money. You're doing something, an activity that makes money and gets you healthy. In your retirement, what's better than that? Sitting around watching The Price is Right? Why not make some money and get healthy and be walking? Why not? Some people golf. Why not shop? Same thing, only golfing's expensive and this shopping's free, and you're getting exercise. Just saying. So that pretty much wraps up my live for today, except for I do have a video. I love videos. It gives me a break. Hang on. I have a video which I have not watched myself, so we're gonna do it. We are gonna share. That's not what I wanted, I don't think. No, hang on. Try that one more time. Come on. There it is. There it is.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Frugal Homestead. Today I am going to give you a basic overview tutorial of how to do an Instacart. That is how to accept it, process it, and deliver it. If you think I do a good job on the video, in the end, go down and hit that subscribe button. That way I will get a reward and know that you enjoyed it. Okay, let's get started because we've got a lot to go over. First thing you're going to need to do is open your Instacart app. Once you open the Instacart app, you are going to press Go Online. Once you hit Go Online, it is going to show you all of the available orders that is in your area. For me today, I only have one order, so I'm going to press that order. Now, let's take a look at some things. We are going to look at how many miles is it going, how many items am I going to pick, and what is the pay. Then you're going to have to decide if that is something that you agree with, and if it's an order you want to take, slide over that accept button, and we're on our way. We have our very first batch. All right, so now that you've accepted your batch, you can actually click on the items list and you can get a better view of what all items you are going to be shopping for and kind of get an idea, if you know your store, on what aisles you're going to need to shop in. Next thing we're going to need to do, if it's not a store that we know and know how to get to, we're going to hit the navigate button, and that's going to take us straight to the store that we need to be shopping in. Once you've arrived at the store, you are going to hit the Start Shopping button. And once you hit that start shopping button, it kind of links up with that store and it's going to give you some more information on the store. So for me, around my area, Kroger's will give me the aisle and the shelf that my items are going to be located on. Some other stores like Aldi's or Save-A-Lot doesn't give us that information here. I don't know if it does anywhere else, but we don't get it. So kind of need to know that. Now you are just going to simply go in and start your shopping. You're going to go get your first item. Once you've found it, you're going to hit the found item button, and then that is going to ask you to scan a barcode. You will scan the barcode on the product and put in the quantity that the customer has requested. All right. Now you just go on to your next one and you keep completing them till they are totally done with the order. Now there are times I need to let you know that things are out of stock or just not very good quality. So on these things, there's going to be a little bit of an extra process you're going to need to do. It's one of three things. One, sometimes the customer has already selected a replacement because in this day and age, people are getting pretty comfortable with the fact that a lot of times the items are out at the store. So sometimes your customer will have already selected a replacement for you and the app will let you know what they would like instead. If not, then it will ask you sometimes to text the customer and ask them what they would like as a replacement. The third thing it'll do is sometimes it'll just simply tell you, select a replacement, the best option available. So those are your three things. If you cannot find anything, then there is a refund item button, and you can do that. All right. After you've got all your items in your cart, you've picked every one of them, you are going to hit review changes, and now it is going to review any changes that you have made with the customer and with the store to make sure that it's okay. Once that is done, it will say proceed to checkout. Once you get to the checkout counter, you're going to put all your items up on the belt like you normally would. The only difference is you are going to, before the cashier scans your very first item, you will need them to scan the barcodes in your app. If it is an online pay, it will have one big barcode. They simply scan that, they finish out your order at the end, and give you your receipt. If it is not an online pay, and you are going to pay with your Instacart card, there will be two barcodes. Make for sure they scan the first one, you hit next, and then scan the second one, and then hit next. Then whenever they get done totaling up all the items and give you your total, you will then slide your Instacart card and hit credit. They'll give you the receipt. Your transaction is now done. Now, it's important to know that you never leave the receipt in the bag or give it to the customer. You keep that receipt with you. However, Instacart needs a copy of that receipt, so they are going to ask you now to take a picture of your receipt and submit it to them. There is an option if you have a long receipt, because sometimes I'll do 60, 70 item orders. If you have a long receipt, you can take multiple pictures and you can submit that to them. Then it will ask you, and it will let you know that you need to keep that receipt with you. So you need to swipe over that you understand you need to keep the receipt with you, and then you go and load your items in your car. Don't hit delivery yet because it starts counting your time then. So once all of your groceries have been loaded into your car, hopefully you have a cold bag and you can put all your cold items into your thermal bags. And then you are going to start your delivery. Now, when you start your delivery, there is a navigation button again. You're going to hit that navigation button and it is going to navigate you straight to your customer's address. Once you have arrived, there is 3 options for your arrival. You are going to hit the arrived button and then it's going to give you some information on how to proceed. The first one will be hand to the customer. This means the customer would like for you to actually knock on their door and hand their groceries to them. Once you do that, you will simply swipe over. After you've completed that, you will swipe over to complete delivery. The second option is leave on porch. If it says leave on porch, you will take all their groceries, leave it on their porch, take a picture, and submit it and send it to the customer. All of this is done in the app, and then you will complete your delivery. The third option is if you have been approved for alcohol deliveries, you will have to actually scan your customer's ID and verify that it truly is them to complete your order. Those are the three options. So if you've enjoyed the video, go down, drop me a comment in. Let me know if you've done Instacart or if you're going to try it. I really love communicating with you guys, and I love talking to all my people.
All right. So there we go. That answered a bunch of questions for me too. So that was Instacart. I will report back to you after I do it. So there are 3 side hustles you could do if you are working full time. You could do that in your off time. You can do Uber driver. You can do Uber Eats. You can do Amazon. Amazon delivery driver is a little tough if you have a full-time job, especially if it's a daytime job. If you have a nighttime full-time job, like right now, I have a job that I work at night. I could do Amazon delivery driver. I could do a morning shift at Amazon delivery driver and then still work at night. If you have a daytime job, a little tougher. Most of the shifts are either 8 in the morning to noon, and then 1 or 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock at night. So Amazon would be tougher if you have a daytime job. But if you are retiring or doing side hustles only, Amazon's easy. And Uber Eats, easy. Looks to me like Instacart, super easy. And you can do whatever you want to. You can pick up whatever you want to on Instacart. So we are rounding the clock here at an hour. That's because I started early. It really wasn't an hour. But that is the live for this week. I hope I gave you some value. I hope that I gave somebody some ideas on what they could do for a side hustle there that doesn't cost you a penny and get you some exercise. And I will tell you that in the last year and a half, I've lost over 100 pounds, and I would give Amazon delivery driver a lot of the credit for a lot of those first 50 pounds. I was Amazon delivery driving for a lot of those first 50 pounds. And I purposely would park the car farther away from the house just so I had to walk. And it's a good way of going. So if you're in an area where you're anywhere near an Amazon delivery hub, why not? It's a quick way to pick up $80 a day, and it only takes 3 or 4 hours of your day. And you can easily make $1,000 a month, easily, just working 3 or 4 days a week. So that is it for this week. We will see you next week on a live. I know we skipped last week. It was Thanksgiving weekend. We figured we'd give everybody a break. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the chat and we will get back to you. If you're watching this in replay, please write #replay and where you're watching it from. I'd love to say hi to you. And again, come join our Facebook group. I will finish this with, I know that everybody that's been watching me knows that we are pushing the holiday give a gift of Entrance Insight class. It's at half price right now. There is still some of them left. I know the actual, if they don't run out beforehand, the actual holiday gifting period, I think, is over December 11th. If they don't run out before that. If you're interested in those at all, I will put a link in the comments below. Gosh, I just can't stress enough to you what a good deal it is at half price. There are people that would play way more than that to get this experience. So go to Insight, go to Insight, go to Insight. Thanks, guys. We will see you next Saturday where I will pick another topic for the live, and hopefully Susie will be here too. Talk to you later. Until next week, be grateful in everything that you do. Thanks, guys.